What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 49ers First Takes on this Tuesday evening. I am joined by my co-host, Mike from SF Gold Rush, and we are recapping the Monday night, I guess you could call it a Monday night showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. 49ers come out with the victory. The Niners still have a path to the 1 seed if they win out. Definitely a lot to talk about from last night, especially on the offensive end. But before we get started with anything, Mike, how you feeling?
What's going on? Another dub city, so can't complain. One step closer. 5 potential home games away from the party with Lombardi, right?
Crazy to think.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think based on everything that's happened this year. One of the things that happened this year was Brock Purdy got hurt early in the season, right? And there was a lot of talk, when he was out with the play of Mac Jones. He played well, played really good, actually.
Yep.
But that stinking rotten quarterback controversy trash made its way into the conversation, as it usually does. All the pundits that hate Brock Purdy and the fact that he's the quarterback in San Francisco, we're having a field day. And, I felt pressure, even though I'm not playing, when it was time for him to come back and whether he could, kind of reclaim that job. And in the first couple games, especially probably the second game against the Carolina Panthers, he looked just absolutely awful. He was a little rusty in the game against the Cardinals, but the last 2 weeks, actually the last 3 weeks, because the Cleveland game, they were really good defense, but he didn't make any mistakes. He used his legs. And then in the last 2 games, the Niners have just been, they haven't punted. And Brock Purdy.
November.
Yeah. Brock Purdy's looking a little bit like 2022, 2023. And last night, bro, 5 touchdown passes. He tied Joe Montana's regular season record in 1990 when he had 5 touchdown passes against the Atlanta Falcons. Steve Young still holds the record overall in the NFL. It's in the well, I don't know if he holds it in the NFL overall, but Super Bowl wise, I think he's got the 6 touchdown passes still stands. But bro,
Brock
he looked amazing last night, brother.
He was on fire. That's why we call him Glock Purdy, right? And I've been missing all season the 30 for Purdy, but now he's starting to give me 40 for Purdy, and I'm not upset with that. So keep it coming, and the way that the offense is going, we're probably gonna have to start scoring 40 points a game to win these shootouts because the games are only going to get harder. But man, Brock was dicing it up. He was Oprah out there. Everyone gets a touchdown. Juwan had a phenomenal game. Kittle, Tonjes had a touchdown that didn't count. CMC was catching touchdowns. I mean, it was incredible display. Probably one of his better games I've seen him play, where he just looked comfortable back there. He was just in the zone, and he just felt like, hey, every throw I'm gonna make is gonna be money. So it was good to see.
Man, it was the best he's looked probably since playoffs, late regular season of 2023. I mean, just efficiency, getting the ball I using his legs to make time or to get time so they could extend plays. It was and I'll ask you the same question. I had doubts when he was coming back. Not that he couldn't reclaim his place, but I mean, he might not be fully healthy until next year, right?
Yeah.
And he just didn't look himself in those first couple games. And it was like, are we really that much better off? And of course, the conversation immediately, because people hate him because they don't, he isn't Trey Lance. He wasn't the guy that a lot of people wanted. So he's never going to be able to do anything right. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, they call him a system QB. It's never going to be enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it especially wasn't enough when he was hurt and he came back and he was looking kind of shaky. And, I had my doubts, but at the same time, I'm like, they made their bed with this guy. They have to figure out a way to get him back on track. And he looked more than back on track last night. He looked like one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Well, like you said, when he came back, you could feel the pressure, right? You could feel the pressure through the TV of just him needing to perform because everyone thought Mac Jones, which I'm not taking anything away from Mac, was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But people forgot about Brock Purdy and how good he was when this offense is going. And yeah, it took time for him to come back to shake the rust off, number one, he probably was still hurt. Number two, most offenses don't start clicking in the NFL until like halfway through the season, and Brock missed 8 games. So now we're starting to peak at like where most teams were peaking halfway through the season. So he's got this offense humming and everything is firing on all cylinders, and it couldn't be at a better time in the season, honestly. Couldn't be better.
I mean, they're putting themselves in position to get the 1 seed, but and we'll get to the defense, but the way the defense has been playing, just how poorly they've been playing, other than a couple highlights here and there. Everybody can fall into an interception or a forced fumble. It's not like that big of a deal. Like, oh my God, it happened. But based on everything with all the injuries and all that stuff, looks like the offense is going to need to, like last night, them scoring 48 points, 41 of it on offense was like, okay, at least I know they have the capability of doing this, especially if you go against a team like the Rams, who you really haven't stopped on offense since Matt Stafford has almost 700 yards passing on you in 2 games. So it's not like you did anything. Like, you didn't stop the Rams. So, like, the question is, like, if we get into a shootout, can we make a game of it? At least for the last 2 weeks, they look like they could make a game of it. He looked the best he's looked. And it wasn't like he was throwing short passes and then guys were running for a long way. He was making passes downfield that were not only, like, accurate, but they had velocity on them. He just looked like a good ass quarterback last night. I was so happy for him. And like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, like I feel way better about things now, because they're probably going to need to score a ton of points, and they look like they're capable.
Yeah. And I mean, the good thing is I don't really see that full complete team in the NFL right now. Every team has their chink in their armor. And obviously the 49ers, their chink is their defense. But what most coaches say, right, you got to win 2 out of the 3 phases. And right now, their 2 phases are playing lights out, special teams and offense. Defense leaves a lot to be desired, but can't really ask for more right now, especially with the way things are in the NFL, where everything is week to week and any team can lose any week. Like, it's just, you can't even make a bet, because it's like, dude, this team is going to upset this team. This team is going to upset that team. You never know this. It's a week-to-week league right now.
So Purdy last night went 25 of 34 for 295 yards, 5 touchdowns. The late pick, which was kind of weird, I don't even know. And he had a passer rating of 126.8, which is insane.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, 17 rushing. I think 117 rushing yards on 21 carries, 5.6 yards per play. And then he had 29 receiving yards on 6 catches. And then George Kittle, 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown before he left with the injury. I mean, all the likely players that we need to step up down the stretch. Everybody looked. We talked about this maybe last week or maybe in previous weeks. So like, they need all their cast of characters. Everybody needs to show up. Like Christian McCaffrey has to play his best ball. Kittle needs to play his best ball. Even guys like Sky Moore had a catch last night, which is insane.
Yeah, great.
Brock is humming when he's throwing to guys like Sky Moore, like who are forgotten. It was nice. He spread the ball around to everybody. It wasn't just Juwan Jennings and McCaffrey. He was throwing the ball to every single player on the field, which, a lot of people get on him like, oh, he's just hitting checkdowns and then guys are running for 45 yards. Yeah. No, he wasn't a checkdown merchant last night. He was making big boy throws in a big boy primetime game against a team that supposedly has a good defense. Did not look like it.
The best run defense in the league,
Yeah, I mean, they did what they wanted last night.
Yeah.
It's super encouraging because of the situation they are in on defense.
Aaron, did CMC look like he lost a step to you last night?
No, I mean, I know he's not who he was, Mike. He definitely he is regressing. But to say what that person said in the offseason who's affiliated with another person that doesn't like McCaffrey or, craps on them, that he's suddenly lost a step to the point where, like, I don't know what they're going to do. Oh, man, it's really concerning. And it's like in the middle of like June, OTAs when guys are catching balls in shorts.
Yeah.
And so to that particular point, he looks like he's slowing down. He looked amazing last night. And like you said, all this needs to happen. This all needs to happen right now, and it's happening right now. Like, we needed this return to what we thought we were 2 years ago with the offense when Brock Purdy's in charge. And at least for the last 2 games, I mean, no punts. You got your punter doing stretching exercises on the sideline.
Playing with the football,
not knowing what to do. Like, this was fantastic. It looked like, I think he looked, people say the Brock Purdy of old. I think this is the best. I think that was the best he's looked since he's come into the league.
I think he looked better because number one, he doesn't have the weaponry he had when he was playing back then, right? Like, he doesn't have the Ayuk, he doesn't have the Debo with all the yak and everything. All his throws are thrown into tight windows where he's super accurate against guys that don't have the speed or the skill set to separate, like Jawan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne. He's just able to get the ball in there. Even Demarcus Robinson got a touchdown, on a line that was a dot. And, so I'm actually more impressed with Brock right now because he doesn't have a 1,400-yard receiver like Ayuk, streaming down the field. And Ricky Pearsall's a ghost. And he's just got George Kittle, who's a little bit older, a little bit slower, but, he still makes his contested catches. And, CMC, who the defense just hones in on, and these slow old wide receivers that just he has to fit it in the perfect spot.
Yeah, he doesn't have guys wide open. Like, he's making layered throws. He doesn't always see where he's throwing to. He's a smaller guy. Yep. So he's got that confidence that guys are going to be in their spot. I mean, he doesn't have his number 1 receiver, and his number 2 receiver is always hurt. And when he plays, he's pretty much a ghost, other than a game here, a game there, a game last year. So you take that into consideration. He's playing with guys like Kendrick Bourne. He's playing with guys like Sky Moore, who all of a sudden, he's even finding Tonjes in the end zone, which is crazy. Like, people, the knock on Purdy was he could only do it with the Avengers.
Yeah,
they're not really the Avengers anymore. They're like they're like the Young Justice League. I forget the name of it. Like the kids, they're like the B team of heroes.
Yeah,
like that nobody cares about. They're not Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. They're like Hawkman, Mr. Terrific. I don't know, just guys that nobody knows about that are, unless they're really big nerds.
Yeah,
and
Stafford
they're doing it.
Luka and Devontae and Kyron Williams and all these superstars on offense. Brock is literally, he's got Kittle and McCaffrey. And yeah, those 2 guys are very, very good, but Kittle's been hurt a lot, and CMC, everyone's honing in on him, and there is no downfield threat. So, like, for what Purdy's been able to do, I think it's pretty remarkable. And he doesn't get enough credit in my book, honestly.
There was a weird thing that came out last night in the press conference. I'm going to play the clip as we kind of transition a little bit. Like, we talked about this earlier. We had you had some streams with us at the Cover 3 guys, and I've talked about this with them ad nauseum, because I have my issues with how the Niners approached the trade deadline of like, we're not really looking Super Bowl this year. So like what's happening is kind of extra, but then at the same time, you want us to buy in that this team could possibly win a championship. So I'm going to play this clip from Kyle.
Okay.
I think I have to bring it back up. Where he talked about kind of how the Niners kind of went into the offseason or came into OTAs. He was kind of asked about that. Like, it's pretty much saying like, we weren't expected to be a Super Bowl team this year, which is kind of a weird vibe to admit. Like, why would you admit that? Yeah. Like, you're coming into the season just trying to do good game to game. Because I know Trent said something yesterday, and he was like, I love Kyle to death, but Like he kind of disagreed, or it might have been Kittle, where he kind of pushed back on this. So I'll play it, and you let me know what you think.
I remember starting this offseason, bringing the guys over to my house back in OTAs, and all the vets, guys have been here for 3 or 4 years, and there was all guys who, every time we've gone to OTAs, it's been all about trying to get to a Super Bowl, trying to win a Super Bowl, and I wanted to make sure that we didn't really talk that way this year. We needed to focus on just trying to be the best team we could be, and we'll see what happens. And that's kind of been our motto all year, and I was just so proud that I actually now, last night, could congratulate them and actually talk about the playoffs, because they were in that, they got in there, and now it's time to position ourselves to try to do something special in that.
It's a little strange to me. Like,
I
like,
mean,
go ahead.
He's keeping a realistic look at it. I mean, I think, like Trent said, right, when he was talking post game, he said Kyle's a real one. You can't, or I don't know if he was talking about Kyle or Brock, but it still applies in this situation. Like, these are grown men, right? They know, especially Trent and Kittle and all the vets, they know what kind of team they had around them, and they know what they did in the offseason. Their major signing was Luke Farrell, right? While you see the Rams over there getting Poona Ford and Devontae and all these players, and the NFC West loading up. Him keeping maybe them grounded and being real with them, maybe that actually worked in their favor. I get it. Not every year is it realistic to be like, we're contenders. Eventually there has to be some type of reset or rebuild or whatever. Niners took this year to do that, supposedly. I mean, they got rid of a lot of talent. Look at Denver now. I mean, half of our squad is over there. And it's just like, yeah, I think they even knew by what they did in the offseason, the lack of signings, the lack of aggressiveness, and it kept the team grounded. And at least he was real with them about it. He wasn't filling them with fluff like, hey, we're Super Bowl contenders, guys. We're going to run it back and do all this and that. They knew. I mean, these guys are old. They're vets. They know when there's a Super Bowl squad on the team and they got players and they're going to make a run at it. I think he let the vets know, like, early on, like, hey, it's going to be a rough season, but let's see what we can do.
It's weird for me because I'm a little older than you, and like, freaking, it was always Super Bowl or bust back in the old days with Eddie DeBartolo as the owner, and if they didn't win a Super Bowl, the season was deemed a failure. And I got this like weird energy after us losing Super Bowls where people were trying to convince me that being second place was kind of like okay, that we should appreciate the good season that we had, instead of just being so angry that we lost the Super Bowl. The whole participation trophy kind of mindset.
It's worse to lose one.
That's why even him admitting this bothers me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear that as a fan. I don't want to hear that your approach, and I understand why he said it, and I completely understand why he talked to the players and was like, hey, that's not our expectations, at least right now, for us this year. So don't put that pressure on yourself. But don't tell me. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that, especially a season ticket holder or a person that's been dedicated for this team for years, who's put a ton of money into this team. Like, nobody wants to hear that this year was kind of like a whatever year. Whatever. Oh, it's a financial reset. That's why I have my place on when people are like, oh, you're not like excited that, there's a potential, that we could go to the Super Bowl or, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, you can't sell me on one thing, and now because we're winning, you're going to get me to kind of like buy into the fact that we actually have a chance of this thing. But then if we lose, you're going to say, well, it was never the goal to win in this year, and the Super Bowl was like not even a real thing. And it's like, which is it? Like, are we all in and are we excited, or are we like, I don't know, man.
It's like they fell into it, like, we got a chance for the number 1 seed.
And that's why it makes it look worse that you didn't make a move at the deadline.
Yeah.
Because the defense is so.
They knew the NFL was a parity going into the trade deadline too. Like, there was really no true dominant team. Like, dude, we can make a run at this thing. But yeah, they just chose not to. I don't know, maybe the injuries it was just too much, and they're like, dude, it doesn't make any sense. maybe that's their thinking. But as a fan, obviously you want them to just, no, dude, there's a chance. Like, let's go, let's get it, let's compete. Look at the Rams, look at us. We have the same record. They're the healthiest, we're the unhealthiest. They have the MVP, we don't have the MVP. Like, so many things that are two different teams, but we have the same record and we have the same chance to get the number 1 seed. And it's like, man, we could be like one player away, honestly.
I asked you off stream. I said, I'm trying to remember what I said about the 1 seed. If you know in your heart, and I know in my heart, that we are compromised on defense, okay? You get the number 1 seed and you lose the first game. Like, was it worth it to get it? Because you might win, or are you like, I'd rather get the wild card because it's kind of like we're kind of just, we're doing better than we should, and if we lose, it's kind of expected that we lose in that round. But then if you get a bye and the Super Bowl and all the playoff games are in your stadium and you don't produce, then it's weird to me. It's like, how do you react to that? It's like, well, we were never supposed to be here anyways. Then what the hell are we doing with the 1 seed? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about stuff.
I want the 1 seed. I want it.
Okay.
I'm greedy. I want the whole damn thing. But like we said, we're kind of going through quick, Rain Man little scenarios. The path might be almost the same, just minus home games, depending on, if they win against the Bears or not. So, but yeah, I mean, I want it. I think the team needs that bye week. Number one, just their bye week was so late. It would be great for them just to rest up a little bit more. No more traveling. Stay home. They had a lot of travel in the beginning of their season. It'd be nice for them to stay home and see if they can make history and go, win the Super Bowl in their own stadium, because they say, I think it's on average, the number 1 seed usually has like about a 50-ish% chance of going to the Super Bowl. And I'll take every advantage you can get. Honestly, this team has had so many bad breaks. They deserve to get a good break to go their way.
I don't know, man. Like, it's weird because, like, if they get there and their team is because they're so compromised on defense and they have this shot at winning in their own place and they don't do it again for the 4th straight time since we've won 5, I would want to be there with the best possible roster if I'm going to be in a Super Bowl competing. Like, the fact that you could make it there and people are like, why do you say smoke and mirrors? Why do you say smoke and mirrors? Because that's kind of how it's been this year. We've patchworked this thing to death on defense. It's smoke and mirrors. It's like somehow, some way, at the end of most of these games that we've been watching, we're the winner. But to say that, like, we all go into these games and are like, I know we're going to win this one. No, you don't. Because the defense is that bad. They're that horrifically bad. Other than a couple blip plays that, like, we run into a forced fumble or, quarterback throws, like the pick 6 was actually a legit, and we can kind of transition to the defense now, but the pick 6 was great. But, like, my issue with all of this is that people are not willing to admit just how awful the defense is, and that legitimately, if we're really talking brass tacks here, you can't tell me that against pretty much anybody who's got an offense worth the crap, that you're not worried that we could, lose out in the first round or whatever. Like, the difference between how good our offense is and how bad our defense is literally night and day.
Yeah.
The guy last night hasn't played in 5 years. 5 freaking years. He's immobile. He's got no arm. He can't move. He's overweight. And he diced us up like Joe Montana. Like, how in your mind can you be like, yeah, that defense is going to be the defense that's going to get us Lombardi? Like, you're tripping, dude. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. No, it's bad. But when you spin it on do you want the 1 seed? is it worth it to lose if you get the 1 seed? Like, it is, because you know what, Aaron, every week any team can lose, especially this season. This is the one season where I've seen it the most, right? So whoever's going to win the Super Bowl is probably not going to be the best team anyway. Maybe the Rams, but they have their faults. But can you imagine, like, the Seahawks, if they win it with Sam Darnold? Are they really the best team? Sam Darnold throws 3 interceptions every other week. So are they really the best team? Like, I mean, I don't know. Bo Nix and the Broncos, they just lost to Trevor Lawrence. Like, who's that monumental team this year that's like, oh yeah, they deserve it 100%?
To me, the Rams are the closest thing, not to a sure thing, because they're definitely not a sure thing, but they're the most balanced team offensively and defensively. They have talent on defense. They can rush the passer. They can get after it. Their secondary is a little whatever, but I feel like most secondaries in the NFL are a little bit whatever. There's very few that are really that great. So the Rams, to me, are the most dangerous because they can put up 50 on you.
They
like nothing.
Absolutely can. But like on the other hand, it's just, if that number 1 seed gives you that much of an edge, a 10% chance more to go to the Super Bowl and to face a team that could have an off day or that doesn't play as good, and Kyle's in his bag that day and Brock is lighting it up, like, why wouldn't you want that opportunity to win?
And I understand that. And then that's why, I want the 1 seed too. I'm not going to trip and be like, no, I don't want it. Yeah. I'm looking at this through the lens of, I'm not allowing myself to do this again, where in my heart, I know this team is seriously flawed and their defense is bad enough that they can be one and done in the playoffs. I'm not going to allow myself to buy in, and then they lose, and then you hear, well, we were never supposed to win it anyways. I hate that. Like, stop.
Yeah. Like, if I have a
champ, go ahead.
If I have a counter, if there's anyone that deserves the number 1 seed the most, the way I see it is, I think the 49ers deserve the number 1 seed the most, because they've gone through more adversity than any of these other teams that have the same exact record as us, right? They've been through absolute hell. Like, no team, the Rams without Puka, Stafford, Devontae, half their defensive line. How many games do they win this year? 5. If Seattle was missing, JSN and Darnold and half their D-line, how many games would they win? 5 probably. So the fact that the Niners were able to go through all of that, climb this mountain, and still be neck to neck with these other teams, like, F it, dude. We deserve that 1 seed. Let's go take it.
My thing is, if the Rams lose before we play them, it is wide open.
Oh, yeah.
It is wide open. My only concern is if we face a really good defense in the Super Bowl and they can limit our offense, our defense is so bad that it wouldn't be like a 50-50 split. It would be like 90-10 because our defense is so porous. They stopped the run last night, right? But they made a 46-year-old or 45-year-old man who has been sitting on his couch, he's built like me, bro. Bro, I'm 46. I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. I have a bad knee. I was watching him on the sideline with the way his pooch belly is under his jersey and where it kind of pops out a little bit up here because he's got some man titties. And I'm like, that's the guy that's doing this to us tonight? Really? Really? That's the guy? And everyone's like, well, the defense has sucked all year. Why is it a big surprise to you? Oh, I don't know, because when we're talking about the game, everybody's selling me how bad he is as a quarterback because he's so old, and that there's no way the Niners are going to allow that kind of passing game. And then they go and do the exact thing, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like,
it's funny. I called that deep shot before the game even happened. I texted my buddy. I was like, watch, Phillip Rivers is going to go deep early.
Yes.
And he went. The first play, I was like, oh, of course he did. But, you have to give Saleh – I get it. The defense looked really bad. I was pissed last night too. But Saleh had to pick his poison yesterday, right?
Yes, he did.
And the poisonous apple that he did not want to eat was Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
So They sold out to stop the run, and their whole goal was, hey, make Phillip beat you. And guess what Phillip did? He was beating them. So they sold out to stop the run. I think it was like, you got to do either or, and they'll just, hey, if you want to get in a shootout with Brock Purdy, Phillip Rivers, they'll take Brock Purdy all day, every day. And it just happened to work out like that. And yeah, it was really bad. The secondary didn't play very good. There was no pressure. Jonathan Taylor was bottled up. That was actually a little enlightening to see that, because
it was nice to see. I'm like, wow, they actually stopped a running back this year, like who didn't get fat.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it with my own eyes that Jonathan.
But at the expense of the pass defense being absolutely atrocious.
Yes.
It's like we can't do two things at the same time on defense.
No, we can't. We can't. We don't have the horses for it.
You know what sucks? Because people are like, oh, you're hating on the team. Dude, the offense can win a Super Bowl. I'm totally admitting that. Like, yes. I'm not even playing. Like, they're that good. And Kittle's out of the lineup, in and out of the lineup. Pearsall's been in and out of the lineup. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Like, it's been that kind of an offensive. Like, we can score points.
Yep.
That's not the issue. It's the issue of, like, holy crap, we got to score a lot of points. We can't get pressure on anybody.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, we forced a fumble yesterday. Okay. Well, if you have 90 snaps against a quarterback, eventually you might, like, it's just, I don't know, dude. Like, as static as I am about the offense, I'm equally irritated with the defense.
Yeah. And it is what it is. We're playing with a bunch of backups. And the fact is, I think they know, like, hey, guys, look, even Kittle has said this multiple times. The offense is going to carry the team. They know that. The whole entire team knows that. So as long as the defense can just slow down the offense a little bit, make them burn time, right? Brock Purdy and the boys will have to step up and carry the team. And that's just the kind of team they have right now. And it's two phases of the game that are playing really outstanding football. The defense is there to, feel
I was saying this last night to myself. The offense is legit. The defense is literally just a bunch of warm bodies standing in front of the other team's offense.
Yeah.
They have nothing. They have empty holsters. Tej Beats agrees with me and you. He says, still screaming we should have made a trade. We're not more than one player away. Wait, let me reread that again. I think what he's trying to say is we should have made the move. He says he's sick of the due diligence.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm totally agree with you on that one. It just makes it's like we're limping on two different opinions. We're not expecting to do stuff this year. So that's okay. We're not going to make a move at the deadline. But then, oh, wait a minute. Now we're in the playoffs. Oops. I guess we like now the pressure's on, and it's like it makes that decision where you were essentially kind of saying we just don't have what it takes this year. Now all of a sudden you have what it takes because your offense is really ridiculously good. Like it's a bad look that they didn't do something.
Yeah,
and I understand we're not one player away.
You can kind of look at it like this too, Aaron. We couldn't stop the run or the pass, but at least we stopped the run now. So
yeah, that was
might be a little trajectory.
Tej said Salah should be pissed. There was talk that there was people in the building, and it's probably a rumor, but
yeah,
that people were pissed that they didn't make a move, like even players and stuff. I mean, it is what it is now. It's nothing you can do about it. It's just I'm confused how to feel. We're not supposed to do it. It wasn't intended to be a Super Bowl season, and now it might be. So now I'm supposed to switch gears and be all of a sudden Mr. Happy Pants.
Not happy, defense. But there is this one caveat, Aaron, I'll tell you. This game Sunday against the Bears is a big measuring stick, like we've been saying every game has been. But check this out. That one seed is so important because there could be one huge reinforcement that comes back, right? Mr. Dub City.
Dub City, baby.
And you getting that bye week, that home game, you don't think Fred Warner would be doing everything in his damn power to be coming back for a late playoff push. If they can win one playoff game after that bye week, get in that NFC Championship game, maybe push it to that game. But I mean, whatever helps him get back on that field, that would change the whole game. I think.
Yeah,
that would change everything.
I think the worst part about watching this defense is not only the undermanned, but sometimes some of the effort is pretty poor. Like some of the tackling, body language is rough. Like it's not only do they just not have the talent, but I feel like some guys just loaf on some plays. I'll say the positive that came out of last night. Alfred Collins and CJ West both got a sack, 2 rookies.
That was good.
Those guys need to start. Over
a backup center.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying, they need to start.
No. Oh yeah, for sure.
Your complaint early on, it was not really a complaint, it's a truth. We spent most of our draft on defense, and we really haven't seen it come to fruition. I feel like, Mike, it's going to be a situation where we might not know the importance of our draft this year until next year.
Yeah.
Because I think guys will shine more when there's less pressure on them, because now they can just be themselves, because Bosa and whoever are going to take the pressure off of them.
Yeah, all the weight's on them right now.
Alfred Collins, to me, is interesting because he was the guy that I was worried about the most. And he's not been like Hall of Fame worthy, but he's shown that he's huge, dude. That is a big guy. Holy crap. CJ West ain't small either.
No.
So there's that.
I thought CJ West would spark a little bit more. I was waiting to see like more of a nasty, violent side to him, but he doesn't pop up on the tape as much as I would like to see him.
I mean, let me ask you this: what is solid to do with this defense? Like, I was letting myself get mad last night. Like, come on, dude, do something. Like, the famous little animation where the person's hitting something with a stick. Come on, do something. But then I'm like, what is he going to do? Like, there's no reinforcements coming through. If he goes zone, they kill us slowly. And if we go man and guys whiff on their coverage, then like there's no pass rush. So like either way, we're kind of
I think that's what I said. He had to pick his poison last night, right? Like, hey, do you want Jonathan Taylor to kill you, or would you rather, risk it on
David McNew's like that soft zone cut? Like, but what are we gonna do, David? Like, what's the option?
We don't have any. A little bit after half, though. You got to give him credit. Philip did struggle a little bit more after halftime, so they made a little bit of some adjustments. So
if the Rams get eliminated, I think it's a toss-up. If they're not eliminated, we're going to have to pray that the whole team gets food poisoning the night before, because they're going to score a lot of points on us. The Niners don't have at all what it takes to stop a good team on offense. My complaint is they can't even fall into sacks. Like, they're like, I know they're backups. I know they're not starters, but like, it's so bad. It's just, I watched the offense last night and I was like, wow, this is great. But I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, here comes the defense.
You can't get excited because they're just going to score right back, right?
Right. Yeah. I was like, here comes the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Rams are the only team that low-key scare me. Other than that, we're ready-made. Maybe the Eagles. I think any team with a viable offense, Taj beats, scares me.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop a hot take here, because I think this whole everyone being scared of the Rams, I think if the Niners can beat the Bears in Seattle, I think they win it. Because I think that gives them that much confidence going into the playoffs that they can beat anybody. And I don't care who you are, what you got as offensive weapons, mobile quarterback that stays in the pocket, JSN, all this and that. Dude, that would be such a big like morale booster for them to just know that they can go toe-to-toe with the like 2 back-to-back offenses, that can score points, run the ball, and guys that can throw. So I hope, but one game at a time, and it's the Bears on deck first.
Warner is most definitely coming back. Yeah, he hinted like wait and see. We'll see. We got to get there first, guys.
He's in a hyperbaric chamber for 6 hours a day to come back.
Exactly. Some interesting stuff yesterday. After the game, Trent Williams was talking to the media. Says he's nowhere close to being done. Does that excite you a little bit that we don't have to spend a draft maybe the next 2 years on a tackle and we could go again try to reinforce the D line? Or are you still? I don't know if you're the mindset of a guy that's like, no, we got to reinforce the trenches and get his replacement.
I'm a trenches guy 100% of the way. And that's probably why, obviously they had these talks with Trent, right? Like, hey, how many years are you going to stay? And he probably told him, like, hey, I'll suck it up this year in our rebuilding stage, but you better go all effing in on 2026 or whatever. So maybe he told him, like, hey, I got a couple of years left. You don't have to go get a tackle yet, but you need to get that tackle so you can develop him.
Yes, you do.
The Niners are one tackle injury away from this whole thing going down the drain. Like that's a wrap. Trent goes down. See you later.
Offensive line's played a lot better though, Mike.
Very well. But you take Trent Williams out of there, then guess what?
And then it becomes they're very below average pretty much everywhere.
He's gonna die. And CMC, everyone's dead. So
UCL injury number 2 coming.
Yeah. So I would rather have a tackle waiting in the wings, or even, have him getting developed for when that time comes. I don't want a fresh green guy coming in right when Trent's off and all
his rookie year, and right.
Like, I have to replace the Hall of Famer Trent Williams. Like, everyone's gonna think I'm it's too much. They have to develop these guys, and I don't know. I'm all about trenches, so that's the foundation.
I have a feeling next year's draft
it's a tide that raises all boats, right? It makes everything better. It's the only position that makes everything better on the field. So
they need to either make a decision whether, like, okay, we'll go free agency and we'll go sign some guys on defense, and then go full like receiver and maybe offensive line early, and then we'll fill in some other holes. Very few starting offensive tackles that are drafted other than Tristan Wirfs are worth being like, okay, we're just going to go rookie and we're going to put him up there and he's that type of a player.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, developing a guy on the fly when you have a veteran quarterback and a veteran offense who in one play could erase everything because he has a bad series in a game and he's just overwhelmed. That's the greatness of Trent. It's just Trent is very injury prone. He's a very large man with very small ankles. And so, like, at any point, those little tiny ankles can give way. And so, offensive line's played a lot better this year than they have in the past. Very and good. It's low key kind of like impressive because we crap all over that offensive line. So, Trent says he's nowhere ready to be done. Another player that I hope is not ready to be done is Juwan Jennings, dude. We talked about this on the Cover 3 show. You gave your opinion on it. Bro, we need to re-sign him.
I might have to redact that statement. Juwan is pretty amazing, especially, in the last couple games. He's shown up and he's produced. He's Brock Purdy's security blanket right now, and Brock trusts him a lot. And he's just, thank God for Juwan, because without him, there's no other weapon that can go down the field besides Kittle. That's it.
What's crazy is Juwan is so slow.
So slow.
And yet he's one of Purdy's favorite guys.
Yep.
And he makes big catch after big catch after big catch. He runs like a 4.7 40. Like, I know people in a wheelchair that can move faster than him.
Yep.
Doing a 40-yard dash. And yet he's one of our better players.
Yeah.
And I understand where you were coming from, where it's like you're not going to overpay for him. You can get a slot receiver at any point, but he's kind of special. He's great blocking wide receiver too. And he's part of that like tough guy mentality that our offense has, where we get up in people's grills blocking and people get thrown out of their game, and we can take advantage of him because he's making guys snap. Like, he has a special presence on this team. I was of the mindset too, just like you, like, let's get rid of both of them. Let's bring in, a new receiver and, take Ayuk out of the building and take Juwan Jennings. I think Juwan's earned himself. I think the Niners are going to do well by him. I think John Lynch is going to do well by him too. Like, you can't, to me, you can't like move off of him now. You have to do something with him.
He stepped up when the Niners needed him the most. And, he's produced for Brock, and he's saved some games, and he's had some really big moments in these games to help us win, to get us to where we are right now, that we're in contention for the number 1 seed. Because no matter what, without Juwan, we're not here. That's fact.
7 touchdowns in 7 games is freaking solid. Yeah, he's doing well. So I mean, I hope he resigns. Brandon Ayuk. I wasn't going to talk about this anymore, but there was a video circulating of him driving past the facility last week, doing like 100 miles an hour, pointing out a Levi Stadium, and now there's word that the police might go after him. And I'm not trying to be facetious here or make fun of him. Like, I'm legitimately worried that he might have either some mental health stuff going on, some CTE or something, because it's just a really strange thing, bro. Like, they knew about stuff since training camp. They haven't seen him or really gotten a chance to really be around him since he got injured last year. Like, what the hell? What happened, dude? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing of the police going after him for speeding, I mean, I think that's a big nothing.
Nothing burger.
Yeah, he has lawyers. They're going to say, prove it was him, prove he was driving.
Right. That's true.
It's a misdemeanor, reckless driving, whatever. No big deal. But yeah, I think the dude is kind of falling off his rocker. I think he's just very immature, very, very immature. Even when the contract negotiations started, he wanted to film it and, document it. And like why, dude? Like, what is
there?
It's
like something off of like NBA 2K when you do a My Player.
Yeah, and then his girl's all up in it, like talking her shit, and it's like, dude, what? Like, you guys are just immature. There's probably some more deep down. Like, I don't know if you saw, but Demo posted something the following day after the video came out and said something like, not everything is what you think it is, and narratives are being driven, but anyway, go Niners. That was it. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it was just kind of weird. Yeah, he just kind of just put a statement out there, and it was just kind of weird. Like, he's sticking up for Ayuk, maybe. I don't know. But the thing, I don't even care. I don't care anymore. I want this dude to be gone, and I'm tired. I'm literally tired of talking about him because he's not part of the team. He's not part of the future, and he's just another first-round draft pick that John Lynch missed on. And
sure did.
You can only say they hit on one, and that's Bosa, and he drafted himself. So, yeah.
Pretty much. One of the things, and before we get out of here, I want to ask you about, we brought up Ricky Pearsall. We've had him almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what we have with him? Is it still a mystery to go into year 3?
He's just an injury-prone player, and it's funny because remember after when he had the incident with the Rolly, he was in the hospital, and John Lynch told the story like, oh, hey, I went in and I saw Ricky, and he was like, man, believe me, I'm not injury-prone. I'm not injury-prone, and he fulfilled his own fantasy because ever since then he's been injury-prone. The dude has hands of glue. He can't separate. When you were on the Cover 3 pod, I was trying to explain a little bit more. I know Sterling didn't really agree when I was saying that, every time Ricky gets stolen the ball, it just seems like he's draped in coverage. And I looked it up, and he averages 1.8 yards per separation per catch. And that's ranked towards the bottom of the league. I know he has like one or here or there where he catches it in stride and he's gone, but for the most part, every time he's catching the ball, he's getting tackled at the same time. And
he's not real strong either.
Yeah. So I think that's why he just can't protect himself, like, when he gets hit, because he's catching the ball at the same time that he's getting tackled, because he doesn't have that separation. But, he's played 19 games for us. He has under 850 yards and 3 touchdowns. So you got to say that is definitely not worth first-round pick production. And if the draft was redone, he would not be selected in the first round.
Two things are weird. Sterling said that, we both have made comments about Michael. Well, he wasn't drafted to be, a pass rusher. And it's like, okay, so you're drafting, and this isn't a knock on Sterling. He was just saying, like, and he's right. They didn't draft him for that. It's just so weird that you would draft a non-pass rushing defensive end who's really more of a run, somebody to set the edge at like 12. That's just a weird pick. Like,
Very
why
weird.
would you? And then you could say, well, and during the show, he was like, he was never expected to be number 1. Then why are you drafting him in the first round? Why are we drafting number 2 receivers in the first round?
Exactly.
If you're not expected to be a first rounder, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Draft somebody else. They don't
draft a different position. There's Cooper DeJean sitting right there. You needed a safety. Huff was leaving.
That's the stuff that I don't understand, is like they draft like a team that doesn't have needs.
Yeah.
Like, stop screwing around in the draft. Like when they made the Connor Kobe pick late in the draft, and they were like, ha ha ha, we drafted an offensive lineman. It's not funny. Like, what are you doing?
That is not funny at all.
It's not funny at all. Like, you need help on the offensive line. And you're like, oh, we drafted a 7th round guy. Yeah, he's a 7th round guy for a reason. And he pretty much sucked the whole time he was in. Yeah,
sure
like, I don't know, man. Like, for all the positivity that I have with this team, as far as like how I feel about the offense, I'm equally irritated about the defense, and I'm equally irritated about some of the decisions that have been made. Like, I'm like, in wrestling, there's a term, a mark. A mark is somebody who believes that wrestling is real. And like, whatever you throw at them, they believe it's absolutely 100% real. They're a mark. They're a mark for the business. We have fans that are marks.
Yeah.
Like, they eat up everything 49ers. The Niners can do wrong. Positivity up the ass all the time. And like, I'm not built that way. I was from a different generation. And I just like the mindset of like winning, winning the Super Bowl. If you don't, it's not a failure. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's a results-based business, and if you don't win and you're second place, you suck. I mean, you don't suck, but like it's just weird, man. Like,
gotta get it done.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
Yeah, we play the Browns on Sunday Night Football, another primetime game. We get to wear the throwbacks, the Reds. I think we have a really good shot of winning that game, dude.
I'm so nervous.
I'm so nervous too. This is what's happening, Mike. We're in that position now where we have to make a choice if we're going to be all in and believe that this team has what it takes.
Yeah.
Or we're going to stay back like I'm trying to be and be like,
temper expectations a little bit, right?
This is what happens when you start winning and you're not supposed to be winning this year.
Yeah.
Now you're buying in that like, maybe we can win a Super Bowl. But then at the beginning of the season, it was like, it's really not a Super Bowl team. This is a reset. You're going to lower your guard down to be disappointed again. That's the decision all of us fans have to make going into these next 2 weeks or the next 5 weeks. Are we going to let our guard down again and be disappointed? Are we going to let our guard down and finally be, given what we deserve?
We absolutely are.
That is a question. Guys, everybody in the comments, thanks for popping in here. We'll be back probably next Monday. Depending on what day it is. I forget when the holiday pops, but I think it'll be past Christmas by then. Me and Mike will be back recapping 49ers Bears. Everybody in the comments, have a great night. Mike, have a great night as well. Thanks for popping in, and we'll do this again next week. Peace.
Awesome. Later.